Welcome back to another episode of BTA. I'm Kalen, and my host with me, Brendan Cavazos, who's currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. Say what's up, Brendan.
What's going on, everybody? What's up?
And today we'll be talking about the top 100. They currently dropped it the 8th of this month, and it's pretty interesting. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Like Caitlin said, we got the top 100 for y'all today. We're not gonna go through the whole list. The whole list is pretty long because it's the top 100 players. But ESPN released their top 100 players for the 2020 to 2021 season, which is next season. It's an interesting list. It's based off of last year, but kind of predicting what players will look like next year. The top couple people are who you would suspect to be the top players of next year. But there are definitely some interesting names. So let's get started with the top 20 for right now. At 20, we have Paul George. At 19, Zion Williamson. 18, Donovan Mitchell. 17, Devin Booker. 16, Ben Simmons. 15, Chris Paul. What are you thinking about those six names for 15 through 20?
Well, I don't like how Paul George is a top 20 based off of his last, performance in the playoffs, which is horrible. But the rest of them, they're okay. You have a youngin in there, Zion Williamson. I didn't I don't know how to feel about that because he was hurt at first, but then he did come in shining. I give him that. But I don't know. It looked okay for those few you named.
I agree with you. The Paul George, I don't think should be as high as he was. 20 is generous, especially considering the what he did last year in the playoffs. But I don't think you can disrespect him to the level of putting him any lower. Because I don't think anybody lower than him is much better than him.
Mm.
Um, Also, Devin Booker being kind of below Chris Paul is an interesting piece because I feel like Chris Paul was brought in to make Devin Booker better, not the opposite way around. But either way, it's just the 20 through 15. It's not that big of a deal to me. I don't feel like anybody on any of these 5, 6 players are on contending teams. So we'll
Mm.
see how they change going into the regular season. But next we have 14, Joel Embiid. 13, Bam Adebayo. 12, Jimmy Butler. 11, Jason Tatum. 10, Nikola Jokic.
No disrespect to Bam. I just feel like he doesn't not deserve the spot. I feel like Joel should be higher than him.
For
Like
sure.
I get that they made it to the finals. Like congratulations to that, but like that doesn't automatically give you the spot to be over certain players just because your team made it to the finals.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
yeah, 25 maybe, but I don't know, just not over Joel.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo as a top 15 player is extremely generous. I even to begin with, like when they were in the finals, I didn't really think that Bam Adebayo was like the backbone of the team. I wasn't looking at Bam
Yeah,
Adebayo and saying like he was the man. Like it was Jimmy. I mean, it was everybody. Honestly, honest opinion, it was everybody. You take anybody out of that lineup, they were nowhere near the finals. They weren't even supposed to be there, in my opinion. But I do think this is generous, and I think them going to the finals definitely boosted both him and Jimmy up into this top 15 kind of category. Jimmy, we would probably see him here anyway. Bam Adebayo, no way. I don't think we see him in this top 15. Had they not make the finals.
mm.
Going forward, we have at number 9, James Harden. Number 8, Steph Curry. Number 7, Damian Lillard. Number 6, Kevin Durant. Number 5, Kawhi Leonard.
Uh, I kind of like they went off of the players that didn't really play, so I can kind of see why they put Dame over Steph, but I guess the prediction is saying that Dame will be better than Steph, but I don't really see it because Steph, he's a a great point guard. Dame is too, but like their skill sets are different. And I would take Steph over Dame almost any day. With Kevin Durant, I guess you automatically have to give it to him. He is 7 feet shooter who can almost do anything. So I don't know. That's a big topic to with Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. What do you
Right.
think?
I agree. I think Damian Lillard and James Harden need to completely switch spots.
Yeah,
Having James Harden at a number 9 is disrespectful. And the other day I was talking about James Harden and who wants him and really like who wants his kind of skill set. But that's not a knock on him. He's the best one-on-one player outside of Kevin Durant. Like I
yeah,
don't know what else you can ask for him. He's a 35 points per game scorer. So I don't look at Damian Lillard and definitely don't think Damian Lillard is better than him. I don't necessarily think that James Harden is better than Steph either. But based off of last season, seeing as though Steph didn't play a whole season, you kind of have to. I feel like you should give James Harden the respect that he deserves and put him higher than both Steph and Damian Lillard. I wouldn't put him any higher than that. You can't put him above Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. And you can't put him above anybody else that comes next because next you have Kawhi Leonard at number 5, Luka at number 4, Giannis at number 3, Anthony Davis at number 2, and LeBron James at number 1. So you can't put Damian Lillard any higher than what he's at, but you
yeah.
definitely can put him lower than James Harden. I don't look at what Dame did. Damian Lillard gets boosted up very high because he's a very good player in the playoffs and he's a very good player when it really doesn't matter because he's really good in elimination games and then we'll lose the next elimination game. Or he's really good in the first round of the playoffs and then we'll lose in the second.
Yeah.
It's just it's not that you don't know what you're going to get with Damian Lillard. You know what you're going to get. It's just if you know what you're going to get, why does ESPN think that he's going to be better than James Harden next season? Because even if James Harden stays in Houston, that's still 35 points a game. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But
Mhm.
I mean that's the top 20. And having LeBron at number 1 is generous for a 36-year-old, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about LeBron at number 1. What you thinking?
It's because of his name. It's because of the stuff he's been doing. So I guess you automatically have to say LeBron's number one because they're comparing him to, well, not comparing him, but there's a big debate, but Michael Jordan and him. So I guess you have to give it to him. But
You didn't
everything
have to
else,
say it like that. Like you
I'm
have
just
to give
saying.
it to LeBron.
I'm just saying. I have a question though. Do you think Anthony Davis would make number two if he was on the Lakers?
No, no way. Because I mean, we've seen what Anthony Davis has been before the Lakers.
Mm,
On the Pelicans, he was incredible. We all know this. He was an incredible big man. He was always a top big man in the league, but until he got with LeBron, the championship would have never got there. Therefore, I think we're looking at him as a top 5 player rather than the second best player in the league. Had he not come off of a championship, and I think similarly to LeBron because last year you look at the top 100 and I think it was Giannis number 1 or Kawhi Leonard number 1. I think LeBron was number 3 actually,
mm-hmm.
because he didn't go to the finals. He was injured. It just didn't happen last year. Um, so I do think the bubble definitely kind of not created a facade necessarily because a facade just insinuates that it was fake. I think it kind of creates this alternate kind of storyline that is not going to contribute to this next upcoming season because next season we're starting from scratch. There's no reboot. It's like we're tipping off and we're going. If there's another huge breakout, that's a different story. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But I think the top when you look at number 1 LeBron, number 2 AD, number 3 Giannis, I'm okay with that. I'm even okay with Luka being at number 4, and Luka's my MVP pick, and I'm still okay with that top 4. I feel like they can shift either way. Those top 4 are great. I think they can shift in any order. And I don't think it's disrespectful to think that they could shift in any order because
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is stuck in a place where he can't win a championship, and Luka is like 23 years old, 22 years old. So Yeah, he might be younger. I think I don't know how to look at next season necessarily. When you consider that LeBron is going to be quote unquote the number one best player in the league. I don't think he'll be the best. I don't. LeBron's an interesting topic.
Mhm.
LeBron's definitely an interesting topic. He's the best player at all times, yet you can look at other players year by year and say they played better than him that year, and you're still not going to say that they're better than him. So you could put LeBron James at number one every year and get away with it. That's just how I feel about that. There were several outside of the top 20. There were several names listed that caused some disturbance in the basketball community, to say the least. Outside of the top 20, Jamal Murray ranked number 21, putting him lower than both Paul George, Zion Williamson, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, players like that. He had multiple 50-point games. He eliminated the Clippers. I feel like that's kind of some disrespect on Jamal Murray's end, but I mean, he'll get over it, I guess. Another mention. How do you feel about Russell Westbrook being 36? 36.
Yeah, that's crazy. Russ used to be my favorite player, so I feel like he deserves a little bit more respect than that. Getting even,
He's got to get more respect than that.
yeah, like to be honest, I feel like he lost his touch. I feel like that's why they kind of put him at that position because he's not as explosive as he was as the first few years ago as when he was with the OKC.
Right.
With OKC, I feel like they would put him higher, like put him higher on the list. But now since he's been with the Rockets, now he's at the Wizards. They're kind of like, okay, he's not going to do as good as he was when he was at OKC. So I can't agree to disagree, to be honest, in a way.
Kind of, I think he's in the same situation
Hmm.
as what he was when he was in OKC, because you look at that OKC team that he had before, and there wasn't a whole lot to work with. And I think he's going back to a place where there wasn't a whole lot to work with, except now he has Bradley Beal.
Hmm.
So, and last year with James Harden, he averaged like 27 and 7. Like I mean,
Hmm.
his numbers were great. I don't I don't think his numbers were bad. You might have to check me on that 27, but I know
Hmm.
he wasn't far from a triple double. Like it wasn't far removed. He also
Yeah.
tore his hamstring last season, which kind of eliminates a little bit of athleticism when you come back from that injury. Below Russell Westbrook, there was Lonzo Ball ranked at 54, except the issue with Lonzo Ball's ranking at 54 is that he came ahead of Zach LaVine, who was at 56, Blake Griffin, who was ranked 65, and D'Angelo Russell, who was ranked 69. And that ranking caused quite an uproar also. How you feeling about Lonzo's ranking at number 54?
I don't like it that much because other people that are like after him, they deserved better. If you get what I'm saying, like Blake Griffin, he's improving. He added a shot, he added handles for a big man. He's a big man, but Lonzo, he can shoot. He's okay. It's just not at a 54. Like who else did you say that was after him?
Zach LaVine came in at 56 and D'Angelo Russell came in at 69.
D'Angelo Russell. I love D'Angelo Russell. Going, he's defeating Lonzo. So is Zach LaVine. No disrespect to Lonzo, it's just he hasn't really proved himself like his dad mentioned. You know what I'm saying?
You think this year D'Angelo Russell's going to be better than Lonzo Ball?
Yes, I think so. I might be mistaken, but that's just my opinion. That's what I see.
I think I disagree, because I think D'Angelo Russell is in a place that what is he going to do? He's playing with Karl Anthony Towns. I don't feel like I mean, it's not a bad duo. It's just he's on the Timberwolves. We're not going to hear anything about the Timberwolves this year, but we
Mm.
will be hearing things out of New Orleans. So when you put it like when you look at the New Orleans squad and you compare it to the Timberwolves team, I'm leaning more towards the Pelicans because they have Zion, they have Brandon Ingram, and
Yeah,
they just got Steven Adams, so they have a good center.
Mhm.
On top of that, they also have Jackson Hayes and Jahlil Okafor. Like they have a good team. Um, I don't think it's. I can make the argument that this is a fair ranking, and
Mhm.
matter of fact, that Lonzo could even be higher because as a playmaker, he's he's in the perfect spot for his game style. All
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have to score at all. Like
his assists his assists are going to be up most
oh
definitely.
yeah, he averaged. I don't know how many he averaged this year, but I think in this upcoming year he's going to be up more towards the 7.5, 8
Mhm.
area. Like his assist numbers are going to be up there because they're going to use him as more of a playmaking guard instead of kind of that highlight making guard that we kind of saw at UCLA and what the media kind of makes him out to be.
I feel like D'Angelo Russell can do that and some. You feel me? That's the only reason I kind of put him ahead of Lonzo. That's really the only reason. If I promise you, if D'Angelo Russell had that same team, he would do that and some.
Why do you think that? What is it
I
about
just like
D'Angelo Russell that makes him so good? I don't understand the hype around D'Angelo Russell personally.
I just like how he play. He has a great
Interesting.
style. He can shoot. He can finish. Lonzo can finish too, just not as smooth as This is just like not comparing it. This is like the LeBron and the Michael Jordan situation. They have different
Just the
types of
finesse. I
yeah.
feel
There's
what you're saying.
different styles of play. I just like how
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell plays.
I don't personally feel like D'Angelo is as valuable on offense as people make it out to be. It's just my opinion. I don't know. I feel like Lonzo has a higher ceiling just because he doesn't have to score in
Mhm.
the position that he's in. He just doesn't have to be that person. Um, I think D'Angelo Russell had a higher ceiling when he was younger and we were watching him next to, Kobe. We were watching him be Kobe's protege.
Mhm.
And now that he's off the Lakers, now that he's been shipped around several times, I think the attention has definitely shifted elsewhere. And I don't think that D'Angelo Russell is going to be able to gain that attention back. I think it's too late. He's in Minnesota. Minnesota is not going to bring another star over there. It is what it is right now.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, as far as Blake Griffin's concerned, he's too low. But
Mhm.
he's on Detroit, and I think that's part of the reason. So
Kyrie is 25. I forgot who they put him over.
they put
Or,
him over.
I mean,
First of all,
under.
they put everybody in the top 20 over him, and Kyrie's at 25. So Kyrie at 25 is not a problem for me
Mhm.
at all. I'm not a Kyrie Irving fan. I feel like that's public knowledge. I feel like Kyrie's toxic. He's a problem creator, and putting him at 25 is not wrong because he's going to be playing with Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
Plain and simple. And they're in talks with getting James Harden.
You
So
think he
when
was better than Paul George?
is Kyrie better than Paul George?
Like on the list.
Yes. Well, Paul George is too high anyway.
Mhm.
But Kyrie probably should be above him. The thing about Paul George is that we talk a lot about Paul George and how like he's not lived up to our expectations, but he very well next year could hoop. Like he could go off next year very well. And I think if he does go off next year, that's the last time he plays good basketball again. That's what I say. I think it's either next year or he's never good again.
I did notice that he said that he was going to start training with the guy who uh who was training him when he won his MVP.
Right.
So that might be a big difference. We never know. We can see, but I don't know. It might be a big difference, but you
We'll
know.
find out. It doesn't make much of a bit difference to me personally because he still has to play with Kawhi and he's still in the Clippers organization for the next 4 to 5 years.
Mhm.
So I think he's kind of stuck, and I think the Clippers are stuck with him as well.
Mhm.
That's all we got today for Beyond the Arc. Appreciate y'all joining us once again. My name is Brendan Cavazos. This is my co-host, Kaylin Stafford. We appreciate y'all coming out today. But before y'all leave, we got the BTA fact of the day.
Tim Duncan was training to become a member of the 1992 U.S. Men's Olympic swim team until Hurricane Hugo destroyed the only pool he could train in. His mortal fear of sharks kept him from using the only ocean temporarily. So to keep in shape, he began playing basketball. That's the BTA.
The rest is history. The rest is history. That's it. We appreciate y'all coming out. It's been a great day. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for joining us. Peace.